is weird, odd, strange, or just plain bizarre is really your cup of tea, then the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast will give you that fix. Can't believe it? Well, listen for yourself as we deliver the strangest news you definitely won't find on CNN or Fox. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast.
Welcome to the GSMC Weird News Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. Listen, I have some stuff for you guys. Right now, today, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to call this, what we're going to do is call this the lavish episode. This is the lavish, ostentatious episode. I got three interesting stories for you guys. I think you're gonna like it. I got a story about a $500 apple. I got a story about $1.2 million fajitas. And I got a story about a $17,000 vacation. Well, technically a $10 million vacation. Wait, it's a $16 million vacation if you pay in Coke. Yes. This is going to be an episode where I'm going to give you guys some ways you can get some things done for cheap and be lavish at the same time. However, PSA. I want to make a little announcement. Not even an announcement. I just want to give out some advice. So now I understand that we have there's these small places, not even small places. There's entry level jobs, right? Jobs that are entry level, and you go there, you get a little bit of experience. So you learn how to handle yourself in the real world. You learn how to do an interview, you learn how to show up places on time. For example, McDonald's. And I'm not talking about McDonald's when I talk about what happened to me. I'm just using McDonald's as an example. This is why we had this big thing about raising minimum wage, because people can't support a family on these jobs. But then people that argue that say, hey, these are entry level jobs to learn things. They're not career jobs. There's that debate. I don't have a side either way. I'm just aware that when you work at a place like that, that's entry level, and you learn things there. You learn stuff there that you would then take on to other jobs. So the bar isn't that high for working there. And I get that because it's entry level. If you got to hire a toddler, hire a toddler. If you got to hire a raccoon, and a raccoon needs some experience so that when he becomes an adult raccoon, he knows how to go to a job interview, fine. I don't discriminate against anybody at all. However, I think there comes a time where things need to be addressed. Okay? They need to be addressed. And the reason people have these jobs is so they can learn things about on-the-job behavior. Okay? All right. Now, I will not say where I was at. I will say I was not at a fast food place because I don't really, venture in fast food. I was somewhere where you can order some food and sit down. I'm going to say it. I was eating pizza somewhere there. We'll say that. You don't have to know where it was at. I'm not going to say where it was at because I enjoy my job. So I was somewhere eating pizza, right? And people handle food there, people cook food and so on and so forth. There's a guy who takes the food out, puts it in the car. He does this thing. Okay. Now I get done with my food and an employee sits down probably across from me. Now, maybe he's on break. Sometimes employees like to take a break at work. I've seen this before. People get their food at work. They go off to the side. They eat their food, while they're at work. That's fine. Completely get it. This guy sits across from me, and he looks really young in the face. I'm going to say this kid was maybe, 15 and a half to 19, maybe work permit-ish, first job-ish, okay? He sits down across from me. And when he sits down, I notice he starts reaching for his shoe. He takes his shoe off. He takes his shoe off in the restaurant, and he's not wearing a sock, right? He's not wearing a sock. Now he reaches inside of his shoe, and I'm under the impression that maybe he's reaching inside of his shoe to pull his sock out of his shoe. Like maybe it fell off. I don't know. But turns out he reached inside of his shoe to adjust his shoe and then put his shoe back on. And I'm like, this isn't happening. I look off to the side because I wasn't this deep into this story when it happened. I was just kind of like, I was still doing Ryan stuff. You know what I mean? I'm still doing me. And I look back over and he's just sitting there with his shoe off, just like kind of chilling with the shoe on the side, his foot just out, his naked foot just out. It's just on the carpet, just there. And he's just chilling, kind of like breathing, like just hanging out. Kind of like the thing, if you go to the club and you see girls sitting down, they'll be holding their heels because their shoes don't fit, because they're wearing a small shoe because that's the shoe they wanted to wear to the club. It doesn't fit right, so they take it off because it's hurting their feet. I respect it because beauty is pain. I completely understand, and that's optional. If you want to pay to go in the club and wear shoes that don't fit, so be it. You can do that all you want. Pain is beauty. I got my hair braided the other day, and it hurts so bad I almost overdosed on pain pills, but I got through it. But like this guy, they're paying you to be here, then you just out here with your naked foot all on the carpet. Your naked foot is out. People make food here. You guys are making food here. This isn't Jiffy Lube. Like, if you was at Jiffy Lube and you took your shoe off and then touched your foot and then you wanted to go change the oil, that's fine. It's fine. It's completely okay. First of all, I don't know if this young man is gonna go wash his hands after touching his foot. I don't know. I can't prove it either way. However, I can tell you this. Someone that's wearing shoes that is not wearing socks, and I don't mean like a shoe that doesn't require a sock. This isn't some fancy dress shoe. This was a tennis shoe. I'm an OG when I start saying tennis shoes. Now, if you're wearing a tennis shoe with no sock and you're at work, I'm going to assume that you're not going to wash your hands because you're not wearing socks, man. You're just not wearing no socks. Come on. So here's the thing. After this happened, I was like, whoa, I'm going to tell my GSMCers about this story. Here's the thing. That kid needs to be talked to. I know it's his first job. I completely understand. But if your parents didn't tell you that you got to wear socks to work and they're just happy you got a job, I understand. I get that. I get that. Fine. You know what? You're not on the streets. You're not on the streets doing dishonorable things under the freeway. I get it. That's fine. So, but there's levels though. We can't just give people high fives for like not living under the freeway. There's levels. First thing, don't live under the freeway. Second thing, get a job. Third thing, wear socks to work. Now, I hope someone speaks to him about this situation, or I hope he gets fired. Because you can't do that. There's certain things you can't do in certain places. And that's why you go places and some people are unruly and they're rowdy and they don't know how to act. You want to know why? Because when they're 15 and a half, they were sitting at their job with their shoe off, wearing no sock, and nobody said anything to them. Yeah. Yeah. And if you're sitting there like, well, Ryan, what's wrong with people not wearing socks and shoes? Why are we living in a world where someone has to wear a sock inside of their shoe? I'm going to tell you why. Because if you're handling food somewhere where people eat at, and this is pizza. So this is a place where a lot of people eat at once. Like everyone's going to share this pie. And y'all got all these different ingredients. You got someone with their whole foot out. Here's my question. This goes deeper than this, because at most places it says no shoes, no shirt, no service, correct? Usually at a job, I feel like the baseline for any place where you're at, usually the employees would set an example. Correct? That's what one would assume, right? Employees usually set an example. Now, if you have an employee in here with his whole foot out, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? You're going to have someone else come in there barefoot, and they're going to say, hey, I wasn't here last week, and you guys had an employee there picking at his toes. And now you're going to tell me I can't be in here picking on my toes? And next thing you know, lawsuit. Whole pizza place shut down. And I'm not going to say whether or not this was a chain or privately owned or anything like. I'm not going to say anything related to what this possibly was. It's just know it was pizza. Just know that. And I'm all for giving young people jobs and getting them off the street. I'm also all for people learning from their experiences. And you can't be at a job where they have food and just take your shoe off because it's hurting your feet. And you ain't even got on no socks. You ain't even got on no socks. You ain't wearing no socks. In his defense, if he's working at that job because he's like, man, I really need some socks, that's why I got this job, then all is forgiven. All is forgiven. Because, we all got to start somewhere. We all got to start somewhere in this life, right? So if that young man's excuse is, you know what, I'm working here because I can't afford socks right now. Okay, fine. I'll shut up. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Here's $20, bro. Go to the liquor store. Get yourself some socks. Yes, the liquor store. Go to the liquor store. Get yourself some socks. But if that is not the case, somebody got to talk to him because that is unacceptable. We can't have your feet out where the pizza be. Can't do that. It's pizza, not pizza. It's pizza. So I'm glad I got to get that off of my chest with y'all. I'm really glad you guys rolled that out with me. That went a little bit longer than I expected to. I just had to make sure that we knew what was going on. When I get back, I'm going to tell you how you can go on a $17,000 vacation and post all of it on Instagram to get priceless photos, but it's only going to cost you like 5 years of your life, possibly. Be ready for this. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere unless you're going to go put some socks on because you're at work. If you're at work, listen to this. Thank you. And if you're not wearing socks at work, put on your socks unless you're a lifeguard. I will be right back.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, brought to you on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. Now listen, check this out. Hopefully you guys got your socks together and you didn't take my advice the wrong way and go outside and just randomly start firing your employees. That's not what I was saying. And hopefully then you guys quit your job because you weren't wearing socks. That's not what I was saying either. I just meant be conscious of hygiene matters. That's all I'm saying. Just be conscious. So as promised, I told you guys this episode was about some lavish things. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you about how you can go ahead and go on a $17,000 cruise vacation, a luxury cruise, and it won't even cost you anything other than probably 5 years of your life. That's it. These two girls from Canada, they decided that they really wanted to go on a vacation, like badly. They had to do it. They wanted to do it for the gram so they could take pictures and put them all over the gram because, it's all about the gram. You got to put pictures on there, but they didn't have a way to afford it. So what they decided to do was they basically cut a deal with one of these cartel El Chapo members, if you would, and they were basically coerced. I'm not going to say coerced. They basically had a deal where all they needed to do was go ahead and smuggle 95 keys of cocaine onto the boat and then just drop it off at like one of the destinations. And they'd have been A-okay. It would have been all right. Like they'd have been fine. And it just didn't quite work out that way. And Kate, for those of you guys that don't know, like 95 kilograms is 2.2 pounds. Each kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So if you got 95 of those, then that's going to be 209 pounds. They had 209 pounds of cocaine. They put it in suitcases, and their plan was just to, smuggle it to like one of the stops or what have you. Basically, they documented the whole thing on their IG. They did it for the gram, and they ended up getting caught. It was $16 million worth of cocaine. And here's the thing. They got caught or whatnot. And one was 28, the other one was 22. They got it. One of them already has been sentenced to 5 years. 5 years. Now, let's do the math on this because I can see both sides. I'm not someone that's gonna hate on you for having dreams and goals. Now, if you're 22 years old and you want to go on a $17,000 vacation, And you dream and live the gram. That's what you do. You dream and you live the gram. You eat, sleep, breathe, live the gram. I say it. I think, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this is bad. This may not be the most influential podcast segment that I'm going to give you. But if you're 22 years old and you don't have any goals other than impress people on the gram, then I would say you go ahead and take those 5 years for that $17,000 vacation. Cause that's it. That's it. That's all you got. If you're 22 years old, you have no dreams, no nothing. They saying, hey, we need you to move this $16 million worth of cocaine and we'll pay for your $17,000 vacation. Just move these packs. You're like, okay, cool. I get to be on the gram. So you get on the gram, you post all your pictures or whatnot. You 22 years old, you go do your 5 years, you get out. Who knows? You might have a reality TV show in 5 years. I don't know, but you'll be 27. You can still figure your life out. So for that person, I'm going to say, I wouldn't have made the decision you made, but I understand. Now, for the 28-year-old, you're tripping. You're tripping because no, you're 28 years old, and if you're 28, you want to know what you should know. You want to know what you should know if you're 28 years old. I've said these numbers to you guys several times by now. If you're 28 years old, you should know this. You should know that $17,000 isn't worth $16 million. No. I'm not gonna make you $16 million and you're gonna pay me $17,000. Nope. And at 28 years old, you should know that because at 22, you've been 21 for about a year. Let's say this person turned 22 a couple days ago. You were 21 for about a year and realized bars and clubs are more expensive than you actually knew. This is true because when I turned 21, I had no idea how much it actually costs to drink inside of a club. It costs $1 million. And this is now, I'm talking about, I don't know, several years ago when I was 21. I don't mean today because it got to be more expensive today because the dollar is worth less. So for the 22-year-old, I see your short-sightedness and I understand. I did a lot of silly things when I was 22. Everyone did. And if all of us had everything we did on tape when we were 22, all of us would be in jail. Everybody, everyone. Everybody, even people in places where you can't even get in trouble. But at 28, you need to be like, yo, here's the thing. I'm 28 and the gram isn't going to do it for me. So how about this? If I move this $16 million worth of cocaine for y'all, I'm going to need you to give me $500,000. Like that's what I need. I need $500,000. I need it up front. I need $500,000 up front. And that way, when I get locked up, I'm gonna put that in a growth mutual fund. And that way, while I'm gone for these 5 years, I'm gonna make sure I got some aggressive growth. And when I get out of jail, I'm gonna have some bread. You're not gonna pay me with unlimited lobster and unlimited high-end alcohol to make $16 million for you. Are you crazy? You oughta see. That's the difference in the age decisions. When you're 28, almost near 30, you have to understand your opportunity costs. You have to understand your opportunity costs. So for them, they 28, now they're gonna get 5 years. You're gonna get out at 33. Man, they're not gonna give you a reality show. It's not gonna happen for you. It is not. So for those of you guys that were like, how do I go on vacation? Depending on your age. This is like a common, let's say, theory. This is a thought piece. Depending on how old you are, you can punt some time to try some stuff out. This is true. You can just punt some time. Like a lot of our 20s, if you made it through your 20s and you made it through your 20s and you're in your 30s or something, you can look back on a lot of those decisions and a lot of those didn't fail the way they would have failed right now with a lot to lose. Right? You can punt at 22. You can punt 5 years because you want to impress the gram. Fine. But at 28, you shouldn't be out here trying to impress the gram. That's not, no. No. I'm sorry. You need to get that figured out. So, basically, this is where we're at. When they get out of jail, hopefully they'll have a reality TV show. That'd be cool. But you know what they always say? Prison is temporary. The gram lasts forever. So I'm not going to say hopefully it was worth it because that's rude. They'll figure it out on their own. So for those of you guys trying to figure out how to take that luxury vacation, that couple months through like the Panama Canal, not couple months, that month through the Panama Canal with high-end vodka, high-end alcohol, dolphin flavored Cheetos and lobster covered nachos. There's a way to do it. It might cost you some time. So highlight your opportunity costs, find out what's going on in your life. And if you're willing to punt that time, then it can be done. It can be done. And I believe in you. I really do. I'm not about to sit here and tell you that I would ever do that if I was 28. If I was 22, I could probably tell you that I probably really would have made that bad decision. But you know what would have stopped me from doing it is because realistically, like when I was 22, all I want to do is play basketball. Like I wasn't even lifting weights at the time. So for you to tell me that this is like 209 pounds, I'm not carrying 209 pounds for nobody. I don't, not for a cruise. You want me to go on this cruise and then have a good time and then be lugging this bag all over the place, checking on it? Nah. No. Even at 22, I'd have been like, listen, I'm gonna need to probably, you got to get me an Escalade, and then you got to give me an Escalade truck like Nelly has. No, like in the Usher video, and I want the whole truck full of Jordans. That's what I would have said at 22. You're not about to give me $17,000. I even knew my opportunity costs at 22 years old. You're not going to play me. But I think, what's his name? A boxer once said, you gotta know your value, or else someone else will tell you your worth. And in this case, they was worth $17,000 in 5 years. So they'll work it out. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. This is what we're going to do. When I get back, I want you guys to remember this 5 years. Remember this sentence. Because when I get back, I'm going to tell you guys about $1.2 million fajitas and then $500 apples. This is the lavish episode. It's real lavish. Don't go anywhere. If you're about to make a $17,000 5-year decision, hold off on it, because I got one more segment. Then when I'm done, you can go ahead and contact your most friendly cartel member and let them know that you want to join the squad. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, brought to you on and presented by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. So, as promised, I told you guys about how, if you wanted to, how you can go on a 1 month cruise. You have to sacrifice 5 years of your life by going to prison and move a little bit of cocaine. That's it. That's what happened. Now, so this is how weird like laws are, right? These girls, they got caught with $16 million worth of cocaine, which is about 200 pounds of cocaine. They're going to do 5 years. Well, one of them pleaded guilty to 5 years. This guy, this fajita salesman, basically, he works for the Cameron County. He works for Cameron County. He works at the juvenile center. He has a fajita business. What he was doing, he was actually ordering fajitas through the county and then taking them and selling them on the side. But he said it just got out of control. He just lost track of how much fajitas he was stealing. And he ended up doing this for about, I believe it was about 2 years. And when they did the math on it, he basically embezzled $102 million worth of fajitas. $102 million. Now, I want to know, wait, here's the thing. He's going to get 50 years for that. 50 years. You want to know why? Messing with the federal government. So if you're gonna break these laws, you gotta know what you're doing, man. See, these girls, they went on a cruise and got to have a good time. Now they're gonna do 5 years because all they did was move a little bit of cocaine, and cocaine never hurts anybody, right? But this guy stole $1.2 million worth of fajitas from the government, so it's gonna be a problem. I don't even know how I could see how that got out of control though. He has his own fajita business. Then he's ordering fajitas for these juveniles. He sees they're not eating all the fajitas, so maybe he orders a batch of 500 and takes 5 with him. Orders another batch of 500, takes 6 with him. Orders another batch of 500, takes 25 of them with him. Sooner or later, He's just taking half the batch because the kids aren't eating the fajitas anyway. So he's going to do 50 years for stealing fajitas. I'm not even sure. So I know the punishment doesn't always fit the crime, but I don't even know how you can give someone 50 years for fajitas. Now, those guys, these Wall Street guys that put in jail, Bernie Madoff and them, that steal millions of dollars from people. Like, I could see your life being so good with that amount of money that you stole that maybe 50 years is worth it. But $1.2 million worth of fajitas is the markup price. How much money was he making selling fajitas and then moving them? He wasn't selling them for government prices, right? Because whoever the government buys fajitas from, they're overpaying for the fajitas. If he's the fajita man on the block sells them for like $2 a piece, right? So don't try to tell me that he sold $1.2 million worth of fajitas for $2 million. No, he probably made based on how many he was getting, he probably made 50 bands, which is $50,000 for those of you that don't know, on fajitas. You're going to do 50 years? Poor guy. Mexican food don't even cost that much. Poor guy. Anyway, next story. So we got the $1 million fajita, and now we got the $500 apple. A woman was traveling back from Paris, and she came back from Paris. She had a layover in Minneapolis. I'm sorry. She had a layover in Minneapolis, and when she went through customs, they asked her if she had anything to declare. She said no, and they found the apple. They found that she had an apple with her, and the apple was supposed to be declared, and she didn't declare. She had to pay a $500 fine for this apple, and that's unfortunate because apples don't cost $500. But I do understand her pain. I get it, because have you ever went on vacation and then you were just living the illest life? Like, I'm talking about, you were spending money like Congress, Rick Ross, Donald Trump, and Mark Cuban and Oprah. If all the money was going to expire in 15 minutes, you were spending money like that. And then you get on the plane and you having to check your bank account and you're like, oh my God, my lights may not be on when I get home. One of those moments. And then you start flipping out, not flipping out, but you realize that you're no longer like the king of the world. You realize you're no longer Aladdin at that point. Aladdin with the genie. That's what you realize, right? And you kind of have to start cutting back on things. So you start putting napkins in your bag that are on the plane. You start keeping your peanuts, things like that. Someone gives you an apple, you're going to hold on this apple for dear life. You're going to hold on this apple like it's the last apple in the world. And that's what this woman was doing. She said she forgot about the apple. But realistically, I've been there before. I know I've been, especially on that super long mega flight from wherever you went, then you get into customs. And you know what? I try to smuggle this apple in here. I did this. This was me. I did this. I brought this apple through here because there's no way I'm going to come back home and eat the chocolate covered lobster they were feeding me in Paris. No, I'm not. My lights might not be on. So this apple's important. I don't even know if I have any food when I get home. So I understand her. I get it. I don't even knock this person for trying to smuggle this apple. Yeah. I mean, the fine is really high. The fine, $500. That's, now, I'm kind of mad about that. I'm kind of mad because if I just got back from Paris and you see me with this apple, then it's safe to assume that I spent enough money in Paris. I feel like this apple, you could have gave me a warning. And whoever writes the ticket for the $500 apple, whoever wrote that ticket, shame on you. Shame. You must just be having a bad day, because it's not that hard to just take the apple and put it in the trash. It's not that hard. So to give somebody a $500 fine when they just got back from vacation, that's not right. It's not right. Now, I know this whole episode might be a change of tone for you guys. It might be a change of tone. I'm going to tell you why. Usually when we have weird news, weird crimes, things like that, I could be one to condemn the individuals involved. Not condemn in a negative way, but just kind of tell the story in a way where possibly you can learn from it, I can learn from it. If they ever hear this, they'll say, Ryan was hard on me. Maybe I'll do better next time. But my tone has changed for this episode because everyone just wanted a little bit more. This lady wanted to bring an apple with her because she spent too much money in Paris. This guy wanted to make a little bit more in his fajita sales and just got out of control. A 22-year-old wanted to take some pictures and put them on the gram. They wanted to put them on the gram. So with that, I shall tell you this. You just got to be more careful. That's not good advice. Someone I used to work with used to say that to me. Hey man, you just gotta be more careful. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything at all. I'm gonna tell you what I learned from all these stories. Basically, you have to make sure that whenever you're gonna make a decision about making more money or having a really good time, you just got to weigh the opportunity cost. You got to find out what you're trading things for. This lady took a risk on this apple that cost her $500. Was it worth it? I don't know. Maybe not. This guy wanted to make more money selling fajitas. So what'd he do? Start stealing fajitas from the government. Was it worth it? 50 years in jail? I don't know. A 22-year-old wanted to take really awesome pictures for her Instagram on a luxury vacation. She got 5 years in prison. She'll be out when she's 27. Was it worth it? I'm not going to say it's worth it. I'm just going to say of all three of these situations with the punishments involved, I'm just going to say understand, because I like apples, but no apple is worth $500. Mexican food doesn't cost that much money, but I've been on multiple cruises and I can tell you this. A cruise that costs $17,000 has to be simply outstanding. With that, this has been Ryan Holloway on the GSMC Weird News Podcast, presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. Thank you guys for spending this time with me. Live long, prosper, watch for potholes. See you next time.